This week on NewsOK TV, how people are spending their time helping others, why getting fit is important, a historic building holds an open house, and a former student makes good on stolen milk. We'll also visit with Joan Lunden and local musicians Sallee and Maggie McClure. Hi there, I'm Dave Morris. We start this week's show with a couple of feel-good stories. Both involve helping others. Our Steve Sisney, a photographer with the Oklahoman, spent time with a group of volunteers out of Duncan, Oklahoma. And as you will see, this group from First Baptist Church are helping with construction projects and bringing along their sense of humor.
Good morning.
How are you?
I trust you didn't have as much trouble finding this place as we did.
So it's your first time out here too?
Yes, sir. This and two more make the third.
Morning.
How are you doing?
Doing better now we got out of that thing.
It's the nail benders, and we're a part of the First Baptist Church. The ones that are here are probably the primary group. I mean, the rest of them we pick up from other churches will be a little younger. We used to have about 15 men that did this back in 10, 15 years ago. And by the years go by, we've got them in rest homes. They've passed away.
God, we're just grateful for today. We're grateful for you bringing us here together to work together, Lord, to enjoy the beauty of this day and the opportunity to give back something that some of the things you've blessed us with and with such bounty. Lord, just guide us in all we do, guide our hearts and our souls, and to focus on you and focus on what we're trying to do here today. In the name of Jesus Christ I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, come back around where you were now.
Pretty close.
Okay. This kind of like horseshoes, isn't it?
Well, almost. And most of the people come from about 3 or 4 churches in town to do this work. And I guess right now our primary goal is wheelchair ramps. We seem like we do quite a bit of that for the people that need to get into their homes and out. But we repair minor things around the house, doors, windows, whatever comes up that we need to do. That's our mission.
This trailer was involved in the tornado on that May 31st storm. The second of the 2 storms is the one that kind of got this one. The roof on their old trailer was very badly damaged, and this trailer, their old trailer, is just full of black mold. And we're trying to get them out of that. They have a daughter in there that's she's allergic to that, and we're just trying to get them out of that situation. This trailer, their old trailer will go away, and they'll just live in this trailer.
These people need it. Some of the places we've been, it is really a blessing.
We just give them the trailer. People who didn't have insurance or were very underinsured, when we get them done, we just give them to them. So, and this money on this all comes from donations from people that after the Moore tornado, we had just lots and lots of donations come into the Baptist General Convention, and it's earmarked for tornado relief victims. So I mean, we got to spend it that way. It's designated, and we're very careful to spend it the way it's designated.
I think it, being a Christian, they're eager to volunteer to go help somebody, and that's part of it, and that's a service that we do because we figure that being a servant for Christ, it's not a greater reward is to serve Him.
This trailer says volunteer work, and I was talking to someone about volunteering. Maybe you'd want to help, and they said, I'm too old to do this. I said, really? I told them about the nail benders that are out here working. The leader is 80 years old, and he has a helper with him that's 87 years old, soon to be 88. Now, how old are you? So I don't think you're too old to do this anymore.
Have you lost anybody on the job?
No.
Good.
We've got close to losing some last summer, right over about a couple of miles over here, but they made it. they, you know, we'd sit in the shade quite a bit and drink a little more water, and we'd come out in good shape.
Nothing's slowing down those guys. Give that crew a job and a map, they're knocking it out. Nice story there by Steve Sisney. This next story also involves people helping others, and it involves Jake the therapy dog. He helps others too, at the Tuscany Village in Oklahoma City.
We did visit with a pet communicator once, and she told me, Jake told me he wanted to be a therapy dog. I don't necessarily believe that, but it has been very rewarding.
Well, Jake brings a lot of enjoyment to Julie, and a few moments ago she said, I love him. I think that the smile on her face just tells the story that she really enjoys when Jake comes to visit. She loves dogs, and Jake is big enough he can lean over and lick her, and that's just fine with her.
We'll go see Joan. She's in hospice care.
It's like a treat for Thanksgiving.
I think it's the reactions from people.
Always loved animals, and I think that it just definitely brightens her day, but they're comforting. You know, just their presence is very calming.
I think the Creator has placed him with me, and I think really no one owns anything.
You can't beat a good pet, whether it's a dog or a cat, and you can't beat good people. When we come back, we'll catch up with good guy Bart Connor. He hosted the Bart and Nadia Sports Experience this past weekend at the Cox Convention Center, and also a video payback for stolen milk.
Shooting more photos at each assignment, but we're putting those into separate galleries that can be added into the iPad and online editions so that the viewers can see a lot more photographs. We can tell a lot more of the story visually, give them more detailed shots, more overall shots, just a lot more variety that really enriches their experience.
Welcome back to NewsOK TV. I'm Dave Morris. You'll recognize the guy in this next story. It's Bart Connor. He won Olympic gold in the hearts of many, just like his wife, Nadia Comaneci. Together, they host the annual Bart and Nadia Sports Experience. With more on this year's event, which just wrapped up this past weekend, here's our Kenzie Meekbeck.
And we're here at the Bart and Nadia Sports Experience, where they promote health and fitness. We're expecting over 10,000 people to attend today, and let's go check it out.
We have 2,000 gymnasts competing here this weekend from all over the United States and 6 countries. So we have 300 boys, 1,700 girls. We have them coming from Australia, Romania, Venezuela, Philippines, United States. Just terrific. And so some of these are Olympic level athletes. Gymnastics is where I come from. This is what I know. So that's at the core of what we're doing here. But we're using that event as a catalyst to try to get kids excited about just keeping moving and keeping active. My goal is maybe there's some young kids out here who, you know, they might have only been exposed to the traditional sports like football, baseball, basketball, but who knows, maybe they'll take up rowing or kayaking, or maybe they'll learn a little bit about archery or slacklining or kayaking, who knows, I think that's the fun part about it, is just getting kids excited about moving around, keeping active.
Thank you, Kinsey. We'll have more from her later in the show. A big crowd at this year's event, and congrats to both Bart and to Nadia. And congrats to Oklahoma City for reopening the Santa Fe station. An open house was held this last week. And if you haven't been inside, here's a quick peek. It's quite impressive.
Welcome to historic Santa Fe Station. My name is Rick Kane, and I'm privileged to act as MC. To me, this is really a special day as we gather here to kind of kick off injecting new life into this facility.
Isn't it a magnificent building? And I think one of this generation's most proud achievements is the fact that we are able to restore historic buildings like this over and over again due to the renaissance that's occurring in Oklahoma City. There's going to be a lot of time for input here in the next few years, but I think we can all look forward to the day that this building is back to its former glory, and at the same time the MAPS 3 streetcar goes forward and starts to serve people in downtown Oklahoma City.
The project extends way beyond the limits of the building. Obviously, the restoration of the building is extremely important and is probably the crown jewel of the entire project. But actually, the project also involves the plaza that will be on the west side that interfaces with Gaylord, and also the future streetcar route. It involves a revision and a redesign of the plaza on the east side of the tracks that will be the front door to Bricktown. And then it also involves punching through the tunnel that exists in the building today all the way through to Bricktown. So we'll have a new portal to Bricktown. And I think from my perspective, that's a very exciting part of the project.
We started in 2005 at ACOG when we did what we called the Fixed Guideway Study in partnership with Oklahoma City, the Department of Transportation, and COTPA, another partner that we need to be sure to recognize. It was a 6-year study that reviewed all of the options, not only for rail, but for long-term thinking in making what has been mentioned will be a transit hub for many modes of transportation. We're standing here today in the building that was identified through quite an extensive study as the place where this hub can best be situated for the betterment of the Oklahoma City metro area.
The largest single source of funding for this project is going to come from a federal grant of approximately $13.6 million that was recently given to the city. And it's really a testament for not giving up. The city actually made 3 grant submissions before finally the third time was a charm, and we were able to secure the money to kick off this operation, this renovation.
Nice work on that story by our Todd Frazier. I'm looking forward to the day when these planned revisions become reality. That cool area will become even cooler. Speaking of cool, Cleghorn Elementary School received a letter from a past student who stole a carton of milk from the cafeteria 50 years ago. In that letter, the student apologized and included a $100 bill.
I am now 62 years old, and I'd like you to use the enclosed money for any child or children who you know at your school that could use a treat or their lunch paid for anything you choose. Thank you, and God bless for the job you do.
Cleghorn Elementary School students in Edmond know a little bit more about the importance of honesty today from a former student. An alum sent the principal a $100 bill in order to make amends for a carton of milk they stole over 50 years ago.
I received in the mail this letter, which was marked to me in care of Cleghorn Elementary, but personal. And I remember getting ready to open. I thought, oh, it must be like a thank you letter, or it might be a letter from a former student. And lo and behold, it was a former student, but somebody that had gone to Cleghorn in 1956. And they were writing a letter to express their sincere regret about something that had happened here that they had done back when they were in school here. Well, the transgression was that they stole a carton of milk, chocolate milk to be exact, because they did not have a dime to pay for the milk at the time. So this person had been, I guess, thinking about this all these years and wanted to make amends. And so they sent this wonderfully written letter about how it all had occurred and how they wanted to make it up to us, and they sent us a crisp $100 bill. I'm going to let the kids know. I'm going to let them decide what we're going to do with it. If we want to use it for, to help somebody else, pay it forward some other way. But we're going to try to decide as a school what we're going to do with this wonderful gift that somebody's given us, and what a great lesson it'll be for the kids.
Those kids looked really eager to have some chocolate milk, maybe some cookies. I don't blame them. That's a pretty good lesson and a good story. When we come back, we'll catch up with Joan Lunden and hear from 2 local musicians who recently dropped their latest albums.
We've actually been using the QR codes for a couple of years now, starting off in some of our custom publications, but now we've really ratcheted up this year, using it in the daily newspaper, and it's definitely taken off. We use QR codes so that our readers don't have to get up from their newspaper to look at our multimedia. Video, photo streams, lots of different multimedia that we have online.
Social media gives readers a voice that they can interact with us in a way that I don't think they've ever been able to. And it allows us to, include their thoughts and their questions and everything in our content.
Whereas we used to just publish and just tell everybody what the news and entertainment and information was. The rest of the world wants to engage. They want to talk back. They want us to talk back to them. They want insight, they want opinion, and a lot of that is new culturally for a newspaper.
Since its initial launch, over 40,000 current and new subscribers have activated a full access subscription with The Oklahoman. TheOklahoman.com is the newest addition to the suite of products included in this full access subscription.
TheOklahoman.com is a really unique website. You're not going to find many websites like it. It is really just like a newspaper. It has today's news packaged together, compared with the other news of the day, and prioritized by an editor.
You remember Joan Lunden? She co-hosted Good Morning America back in the 80s. Our Heather Warlick caught up with Ms. Lunden at the Oklahoma City Golf and Country Club to talk Girl Scouts.
Well, hi everyone, I'm Heather Warlick at the Juliet Low Leadership Society annual luncheon here in Oklahoma City, and the featured guest is Joan Lunden. Welcome to Oklahoma today.
Thank you very much.
Sorry about the wind. I hope it didn't mess up your hair.
That's okay. It makes you look kind of like that nice wind-blown look.
That's right. Well, you've done so many things in your life. You've spent 17 years on Good Morning America. You did A&Es Behind Closed Doors, investigative journalism. You've been an advocate for women in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And here you're advocating for Girl Scouts, which is something that you and I have in common. I'm wearing my Girl Scout pin.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, so tell me.
I remember when my mom was a brownie leader when I was really little.
It was great.
You know, I've been an advocate for health and wellness probably since I was a little girl, because my daddy was a doctor. Always thought I would be a doctor when I grew up. Then I worked in a hospital for a while and found out that wasn't happening. And, you know, I have this wonderful opportunity after, 2 decades on GMA to be out in front of women's groups all the time. And I think it's incumbent upon us to share our stories, and we can inspire each other, we can motivate each other. I see it day in and day out as I go from city to city and speak to women's groups. And at a group like this, I mean, first of all, you have the Juliet Low people who just work so hard to raise money to support this fantastic group, because it's groups like Girl Scouts that help to teach our young women today to be courageous and to be strong and to have a voice and to want more out of life.
These are some of the things that you told the group of Girl Scouts earlier today that gathered at the Girl Scout headquarters. They're from Arthur Elementary, and that's a community Girl Scout troop. There's a lot of importance in for women, adult women, to help out with Girl Scouts as well.
Yeah.
And in Oklahoma, we have some problems facing our girls. We have a high rate of teen pregnancy, a high rate of female incarceration. So how do you think Girl Scouts can, make a change in that?
I think that being there for them, a lot of times young children today are in homes where there might not be a father, the mother's working full time. You don't have that same sense of someone's always there to hold you up and support you and cheerlead you like we had when we were much younger. So the Girl Scouts can jump in and play a role. They can serve as role models to these young women, and there's so much to be said for giving young children positive affirmations, constantly telling them, we're going to build your character, you can be anything you want to be, I got that when I was young, and it helped me believe in myself. So we need to help these young girls see positive role models, believe that they can make more out of their lives. And if you bond with them, if the leaders bond with these young girls, and you do in all of these get-togethers, they then don't want to disappoint you. And that's where perhaps you can cut down on some of this teenage pregnancy. Maybe they'll come to you and talk to you when they're at a pivotal point of making a decision that could ruin their lives. It's just that strength of community and that support system that is so desperately needed today.
Some good advice there from Joan Lunden. Thanks to her for granting us that interview, and to Greg Singleton for that edit. A couple of very talented local musicians visited our studios last week. Both released new music this past Friday, and both are on tour. And both were interviewed by our Brandon McDonald. Up first, here's local rapper Josh Sallee.
I understand that this is your third album, but it is your first iTunes release. Talk about how this album is different from what you've done in the past.
Well, putting it on iTunes, I guess it would be the main difference of selling it. We've never actually sold a project. Different from what we've done, we're kind of trying to keep the same formula, growing in my sound. We reached out to larger producers. We have different producers, and we really we had more people on a creative hand overseeing the whole project. Putting their input, giving their take. So, I mean, it's still the same formula that's been successful, but I think progression is what people want to see, and so I think that's the main thing that's different. Is that it's just a lot more melodic, more sounds. I'm learning more cadences, more control of my voice, experimenting with new flows and stuff like that. So it's new music that people are going to hear, and I think they're going to appreciate it.
All right, and you have a video coming out this week, I think, in advance of the album.
Tuesday, tomorrow, I guess it would be.
Right.
It's for Switch Lives. It's shot, directed, and edited by Kyle Van Osdal, who's a Oklahoma director, and I don't want to give too much away, but it's bigger than anything we've ever done, as far as we incorporated green screen work and CGI and narrative and did all these things with a very small crew, and it doesn't look like that. I mean, it looks like a pretty big production.
I've seen Josh at a couple of his shows. He brings an amazing amount of energy to the stage and crazy fast vocal skills. Maggie McClure also stopped by. Her genre is more singer-songwriter than rapper, and she plays a mean keyboard.
And Maggie, you hail from Norman, but you moved to LA a couple of years ago, and that was very influential on your album. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Definitely. My move from Oklahoma to Los Angeles has pretty much defined my album, not on purpose, but there's a lot of change that's been happening in my life for the past few years, and so naturally the songs that I wrote and still write are about that and adapting to that change, and so here we have Time Moves On.
And one of them in particular, Central Time, was one of the last tracks that you wrote for the album, and that's very much about missing home, and so I guess you still feel very connected to Oklahoma.
Yes, I do. I miss home all the time, and it's just so different, Los Angeles to Oklahoma, in so many ways, and I am holding on to my roots as much as I can.
Talk about the opportunities that you found in LA. I think that was a big part of the reason that you and your husband, who's also a musician, decided to move.
Yeah, well, we didn't really have any concrete opportunities when we decided to move out there, but we had been out there enough and realized that there are so many opportunities in the entertainment business if you are there, available, and willing to try things and get out of your comfort zone and network. And so we've been there for almost 2 years now and been doing a lot of networking, playing a lot of shows, and just trying to meet people and make new friends, and it's been really awesome, the opportunities that we've gotten so far, and a lot of it has come from just simply meeting people.
Tick-tock goes locking around my neck. I keep the hands on Central Time. It's a piece of home that hasn't left. I take a breath and hold on tight, 'cause it's hard to say goodbye. And you're always...
You can find more about both artists online at our website, newsok.com. Plenty more music at static.newsok.com. Best of luck to both of them on their respective tours, and congrats to both for producing such fine material. When we come back, Kinsey Meek-Beck returns and debuts a new show on NewsOK called Trending OKC.
In 2012, we had the largest concentration of Oklahoma musicians to go to South by Southwest ever. Dave Morrison and I, we talked about it. It's like, let's just do this guerrilla style, okay? We'll shoot 1 or 2 performances by an act, and then we'll get an interview, and we'll get it up as quickly as possible. So that's what we were doing. We ended up with 21 different videos, and those also included some stand-up.
The concept of the What's It Like is that we want to explain basic medical procedures to our readers. There's been a lot of interest in the series. We'll have people who write me who have had something done, but they didn't know that was how it was done because they were asleep. I have people who have the procedure done, and they'll write me and say, yeah, that's what happened. And so it's been really interesting.
All right, time to close out this show, and we get the final segment once again to Kinsey Meek-Beck and her show, Trending OKC. It's a show about everything and anything trending nationally and locally.
Welcome to Trending OKC, the segment where we talk about everything that's trending or going viral, from the streets of Oklahoma City to the entire nation and online world. I'm your host, Kinsey Meek-Beck, and today we'll be talking health and fitness. First, taking a look at CrossFit training, a trending workout in OKC, and what is the paleo diet, and checking out a viral video on an Olympic sport that was done in a unique location. And we went by to find out more about CrossFit and to do a quick workout session with CrossFit Reverb coach and owner Lee Radislaw in the Devon Energy Boathouse. Right now we're here at CrossFit Reverb in the Devon Energy Boathouse, and I'm here with Coach.
I'm Coach Lee. We're going to do a little mini circuit here, just to give you a sample of what we do at CrossFit. We do a little bit of everything. We do weightlifting, running, we do some pull-ups, push-ups, basic gymnastics stuff, pretty much just about anything.
Thank you, Kinsey. Nice work. You can watch the full video online looking into CrossFit, the paleo diet, and a viral sports video. And you can catch all the videos that we mentioned in the show and over 30,000 more online at NewsOK.com. That'll do it for this week's NewsOK TV. For the entire crew here at Opubco Studios, have a great week, everyone. We'll see you in March.